What's going on, guys? It's your boy ShadyMikeGaming, and welcome to the release of my NBA 2K22 slider set version 1. Wow, it's been 5 months in the making, right? Well, hey, listen, this is going to be a comprehensive guide on how to achieve what is, in my opinion, the most enjoyable version of NBA 2K22 that is possible. This video is going to be broken down into 3 parts. First, we're going to address player movement and fast break pace. Second, we're going to address roster edits and draft class edits for my league. And third, we're going to address mandatory in-game tweaks to defensive AI and pick and roll logic. I wanted to let you guys know, and I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible. I need you to watch the video the entire way through, just so that we can all be on the same page. Make sure everybody set the video up right. I'll make sure to have timestamps where they need to be, just in case you have to get back and find certain information. Before we get started, there's a couple things I need you to know about this set. This set was developed on current gen PC using real shooting percentage. That does not mean that you cannot use it on next gen or that you can't use shot stick timing. Plenty of people, and maybe even the majority at this point, are on next gen. And have enjoyed the sliders and enjoyed the betas and tested the betas for me. I'm just saying that since your platform may be different from the one that I developed the sliders on, you may need to make some slight tweaks, and that's okay. That's okay. I want to talk real quick about my philosophy behind sliders. The number one thing about my sliders is I want to be able to make contested jump shots. My belief and philosophy is the presence of a defender does not equal good defense. And that's what my set is built around, and we'll see that in the gameplay and of course as we go through it. My other issue with the game is just that the transition game is horrible and it's non-existent. Guys run in slow motion, they feel like they're running in mud. Guys are unathletic, slow, making weird stutter step animations. We've done our best to smooth the game out and fix that. One other thing I wanted to, we've almost completely eliminated suction cup, magical blocks from behind, weird gravity suction animations, all of that good stuff. And last and definitely not least, we worked to get the defensive AI back to where it was at launch. Guys play defense, guys fight over screens, guys have the quickness and lateral quickness to defend the pick and roll the smart way and stay in defensive plays and get their hands up. Before we get into it as well, I wanted to say thank you to my 50 Twitter followers. Well, I have more than 50, but the 50 Twitter followers that helped me beta test this set. I work a lot more now. I'm a lot older. I'm no longer in high school sitting around playing games all day. I work full time. I can't test as much as I used to. So to ensure the same quality was coming in this set that have been in my past sets, I needed to reach out and get help. So to all of the beta testers, the people that helped test this, gave me feedback, I really appreciate you. I think it's going to pay off. I think a lot of people are going to like this set. I think it's special. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing you want to do is go over features. You want to go to controller settings and make sure your shot timing is on real shooting percentage for both your shot timing and your free throw timing. I personally also come down here and just bump up my defensive assists and all these automatic things. Just makes it a little bit easier to defend. Then you're going to go over to your game settings, and we're going to put game speed at 50. Now, I told people that the game speed was going to be at game speed at 70. When I told people game speed was going to be at 70, a lot of people kind of freaked out a little bit. That's okay. It's not the same as just 70 out of the box. We've done other things to tweak. The reason we make this setting, I don't want to get into a whole analytical debate, but you know how we were criticizing 2K last year for their bad transition defense? Well, they made it better, but in reality, they didn't, because all they did was they artificially boosted the speed of transition defenders, being defenders in transition, and they capped off user speed in transition. They put a cap. And in years past, I'm going to go over to the sliders and we scroll all the way down. In years past, we could just use these for speed without ball, max speed without ball, or excuse me, acceleration with ball, acceleration without ball, speed with ball, speed with ball, min max, all that good stuff. These 4 sliders right here, we used to be able to use them to arbitrarily boost the speed in transition. Well, now that does not work. You cannot do it because of the cap. So what we did was, really the only way to raise the speed in transition is to raise the game speed. There are some other ways you can kind of give the ball handler an edge using some badges. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video, but it's not a true 70 game speed. We've tweaked it. You've seen the gameplay. It looks great. Don't worry about it. It plays great. You guys are going to enjoy it. Trust me on this one. All right, so next we're going to talk a little bit about how to globally edit your roster and the tendency edits that I've made. Again, people have been asking me, is this mandatory? I'm just going to say yes. This is just the best way to get the best results out of the game. If you choose to do something different, that's, it is what it is. When we get to this screen here, usually we're going to load a draft class. I'm going to show you all how to globally edit your draft class too, but just for the demonstration's sake, we're just going to auto generate really quick. So what we want to do is we want to go to roster. Again, this is only doable in a My League. You cannot globally edit tendencies in the main menu. You go to your roster, you press start. Hit OK. And it's going to take you to the Philadelphia 76ers. You want to tab over so that at the top, in the top left, it says all players. And you want to tab over to your tendencies. And I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing right here so that you guys can see the changes that I make. Of course, I'm going to have the tendencies listed in the description, so that's perfectly okay if you can't follow along. So you hit the X button on PlayStation, A button on Xbox so that you can edit the entire column. And the first tendency that you're going to go to, we're going to go all the way down here. We are looking for contested jump shots by mid-range, and we're going to raise that by 25. Next, we are looking at contested jump shots for three-pointers. We are raising this by 60. Now, the number one question that I get all the time, which is really one thing I want to address, is people will say, oh, well, is this going to make Rudy Gobert and Mitchell Robinson shoot a bunch of threes? And the answer to that is no, because what we are doing is we are just changing the types of shots that they are taking. We are not actually changing the rate at which they take threes. So keep that in mind. I get that question a lot. This is not going to cause people that don't shoot threes to shoot threes. That's the best thing about the way that we've edited our tendencies here. And again, I am just going through this list, making these edits. I might even edit this out just because, as you guys can see, this is how you edit it. There's no reason for me to show the entire thing. These are just the edits that you are going to make. I guess this would be a good time to come back in when we get to the take foul and hard foul tendencies. I have been maxing these out to be all the way up to 100. Obviously that is going to affect the simulation stats. This update, with this being V1, we have not looked at the sim engine yet. We have not tweaked the sim sliders yet. So obviously there may be some inflation in terms of the simulation foul numbers and things of that nature. We will address that later on as we continue with version 2, version 3, and hopefully we don't need that many versions of the slider set. Two things that I did want to point out here, and it is the flashy pass and the dish tendency. The dish to open man tendency just affects how often players will kick the ball out of post ups and drives, so they find 3-point shooters in the corner. Really plays a big part in the CPU being very much smarter in their gameplay. And then, of course, the flashy pass tendency. You rarely ever see flashy passes. This makes players, we raise it up a little bit, makes players make a few more flashy passes. So keep that in mind. Now, the way that we've been getting these good dribble tendencies is we take the no dribble, we take the no setup, we drop those, and then we take the size up and we raise that. So get a lot of good animations, a lot of good setups, just much more variety in terms of our dribbling options. Now, what I wanted to show you here is we just did tendencies, right? So we're going to back out of the roster. We're going to go right back in. We're going to go right back into attributes, and we're going to global edit again. And we're going to scroll until we find the draw foul attribute. And we are also going to take this and we're going to max this all the way up for every single person in the league. Again, that helps a lot with getting us some more fouls and situations and jump shots and things of that nature. Now, what we are also going to do is we are going to look for a badge. It is called downhill. And I would say that this is the only aspect of these changes that are actually optional. Okay, once you find downhill, again, this is optional, but this really gives you, if you are tired of feeling like you're running in slow motion on the fast break, I go and add this badge Hall of Fame to every single player in the league. And once all of those changes are done, all the ones that I'm going to include in the description, you now have globally edited your roster and you are good to have some really good gameplay. So at this point, now that we've made our roster, our global roster edits for My League, you may be saying, well, okay, but I want to play My League for more than one season. I like playing multiple seasons. What do I do? The rookies that come in are not going to have the same tendency changes. Well, all you have to do is go to features, then go to create a draft class, new draft class, and you can make these same global edits to attributes and everything for this entire draft class. You can do this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times once, and you have those draft classes forever. You can load them at random so that all of your franchises are different years and things of that nature. So you can still have those draft classes, and all you would do to get that in your My League, when you start it, you can just go new My League, current teams, start, blah, 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 choose everything you want to choose, however many teams. And once you go to start, it's going to give you this menu right here. So you can create or edit it right here. Or if you've created several, you just go to load and you can load the draft class that you've already created. First thing you want to do is pause as soon as you can, and you want to go to the game plan and you want to find your defensive settings. And I'm going to change a few settings here. First, you're going to change your hedge. You're going to change that to, I like to do a soft hedge for the center. Go to on ball screen, go to switch all, and then on ball screen again, switch all, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to screen help rules and drive help rules and go to help and no rotation. You're then going to switch teams, and yes, you do this before every single game, and you go to the defensive settings, same exact thing, hedge, soft hedge, switch all, drive help. This gives the most realistic outcome on those pick and rolls. This is the setting that the CPU can handle. That's the reason I chose it. It's just the one that causes the least amount of hiccups in open men. The last thing you're going to do before you switch back to your team is you want to go to your coaching sliders. For the CPU team, you're going to see a slider called Run Plays Frequency. You're going to drop this down to 25. And but that's just for the CPU. And at that point, you can then go ahead and switch back to your team. All right, guys, and for the last section of the gameplay in-game changes that we're going to be making, the last two things are going to be what impacts free throws the most. We've already acknowledged free throws are still a little bit of an issue with the set. These are two things that I do that help. So if you're not getting the free throw numbers that you like or that you want, we understand. These are two things that you can do to help. So I'm in a live game right here. I've already switched teams and made our defensive settings changes. So I'm playing as the Cavs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let them win the tip, and I'm going to press right on the D-pad, go to team adjustments, and we're going to go to aggression, and we're going to press triangle or Y, whichever, and we're going to hit play physical. And when we hit play physical, that helps a lot to sometimes force some fouls. Now you see, I just gave them the ball back. I want to show you one more thing. I do not guard on ball. So a lot of people, when they play 2K, you see how I'm guarding the man that has the ball. He passes, then you switch to this guy, and he passes again, and then you switch to that guy. No, that's not what I do. Watch me. I'm going to switch to LaMelo. Obviously, they scored there, so hold on a minute. I'm going to do the same thing again. Just shoot it up. let them get it. And I'm going to show you how I play defense. Now, the reason I don't play on-ball defense, a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a scrub." Whatever. I'm more of a simulation player. I don't care about, the aspect of skill. And obviously, they just committed a foul, so we're going to get the ball back anyway. And I'll just talk through it really quick. So the reason that I play off-ball defense in 2K, and I've been doing this for years, is because the CPU-controlled user defenders, so the defenders on the user's team that are controlled by the CPU, have an ability to trigger animations that user-controlled defenders just cannot trigger. These animations are more dynamic, and they also result in more fouls. So this is more of a house rule, not a requirement. But if you are struggling with the amount of free throws that you're getting, I do suggest, yes, change your play style to play physical, your aggressiveness to play physical, and try playing off-ball defense. That's what I do. I've been doing it for years, and I'm pretty happy with the results. All right, guys, and that is going to do it for exactly how to set our slider set up this year. Again, I want to say thank you so much to everyone for all of the support. If you have any questions about the set, how to set things up, some of the things that you might be seeing, maybe you got you're on next gen and you've got some questions, some things are a little bit different. Hit me up on my social medias. I'm most popular on Twitter, but Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff is at ShadyMikeGaming. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for the support. It's your boy ShadyMikeGaming. I am signing out. Peace. Threes.